One Thing I Know for Sure, a briefcast where we ask one powerful question to unlock amazing and deep insight with the purpose of really inspiring you to transform something in your life, working yourself towards a greater success, more achievement, all the things that you want. My name is Wendy Rosenthal. I am your host and chief pathfinder at Pathfinder One-to-One. I am a transformation coach, and our practice focuses really on a first internal, then external way of helping our clients achieve everything that they want to achieve, their true desires, overcoming obstacles, and maintaining a level of greatness each and every day. I'm so excited to be here today with the amazing, and I mean that sincerely, the amazing Maria Mahboubi, who is the founder of The Awakened Choice, a somatic healer and coach. Hi, Maria. I'm so happy you're here.
Hi, Wendy. Thank you for having me. It's such
My
a
pleasure. My pleasure. I'm just going to pop my glasses on so I can share with everybody that you are a person who helps women overcome self-doubt, to make empowered decisions by becoming aware of their past traumas and current stresses, transforming unhealthy belief systems, and ultimately helping them embody the truth. I want everybody to know I have had some coaching and some sessions with Maria. She really, when I say amazing, she really is. Through her own healing and search for the truth, Maria learned firsthand the power of somatic healing and coaching, and she is passionate about helping other women experience transformation, healing in their own lives. Maria, I just want to dive straight in because I know you have some really beautiful things to say. Tell everybody, what is the one thing that you know for sure?
yeah, when you offered me this opportunity to come into the briefcast, I thought, well, I'm sure there are many things, but so dialing it down, it had definitely something to do with feeling in the soma, because that's sort of in my wheelhouse and what I focus on, and
Mm-hmm.
what I'm passionate about. So I would say that the one thing I know for sure is that we have a choice in how to feel. And what I mean by that is that life happens, and the circumstances are what they are. And as we decide how to feel about the circumstances, we always have two roads. We can choose to go one side or the other. And irrespective of what's happening to us, understanding that it's happening for us
Mm.
so that we can choose how to feel is our divine right. And it's, I
I
feel
mean,
like the one thing.
yeah, no, I'm bursting over here because first of all, I think that that is a phrase that I use a lot in coaching as well, is that, if you look at a situation that this is happening for me, not to me, how does that change everything? I want to ask this question though, Maria, because it sounds simple and so resonant and true that we can choose how we feel. Why does it oftentimes feel so difficult to do? What stops us from making the choice to feel a better way or a more positive way than a negative way?
I think it's our mind, it's our thinking, it's our story around what's really happening.
Mm.
So the way we perceive the situation has everything to do with how we feel. So the way to change how we feel is to change our perception. And we do that by, everybody does it in a different way. What works for me is sort of stepping away from it and changing the camera so that it's
Mm.
facing you, and seeing it from a place of, wow, yes, this seems like it's unsurmountable in this moment, but where have I been? Where have I traveled? How did I get here? Right? And
Right.
how can I possibly just tweak something very simple, right? Because I don't believe it's a complicated thing. I think we as humans overcomplicate things. So looking at what small shifts we can make so that our perspective shifts, so that we can lean into a different feeling around the situation.
And can you do that once you're deep in a feeling? Sometimes, let's say something difficult happens, okay? And those times where you feel like you don't want to get out of bed, or, you're deep in it. Is it something that you can shift at that point, or do you feel like you have to ride it out in order to be able to change your perspective?
I think you need to feel whatever that is. I think
Okay.
you need to allow yourself to just feel. If it's anger, if it's pain, if it's sadness, the only way through is through,
Right.
and I think a lot of times we just want to fix things, but choosing to feel a certain way can also mean just surrendering to that
How
moment
you
and how
feel.
you're feeling, right? That's a choice. The choice is in the
Yeah.
surrendering. It's
It's
also
so
in the resisting. So that's the choice.
Yeah, that's so interesting that you're saying that. So it's not a choice of to feel happy or sad per se. And when you're saying this, I'm just thinking of how many times have I been like, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to carry on, and I don't allow myself to truly feel. And one thing, again, it resonates so much with me is that I believe feelings are our superpower. Like when you
Mhm.
follow a feeling, it actually might lead you, even if it's a difficult one, it might lead you to a place that is very powerful for you, right? So those are the choices. It doesn't have to be choosing happy or sad or angry or not angry. It's how you're going to manage your feelings.
Yes, because it also has to come from a place of authenticity
Yeah.
and alignment with who you are, right? You can't force anything. So if you're in a deep state of grief, for example, oh my God, I know it sounds like it feels like it will never end. It's a dark hole, but once you move through it, it
Mm.
can be so beautiful. So yeah.
I think it's so powerful to remind people also through what you're saying that it's actually it's really okay to feel whatever you're feeling. You know,
Yes, absolutely. And that's I think the number one thing, and what I work with people on, just being in that place of awareness and acceptance of what's happening. Then we can go into the whys and that how we're responsible or not, and all those things. But first, sort of accepting that you're in that place of feeling a certain way.
Now, Maria, I can say this because I've had the great pleasure of having you work on my energy and my feelings. I remember you talking about how sometimes we store our feelings in our bodies, and sometimes those feelings get trapped in there for a really long time, and they can actually cause issues in our body. Is that something that is true? First of all, if I got that right. But second of all, then is that even why it's more important to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, to choose to have those feelings and how you manage it?
100%. I mean, I believe, like a lot of people, that those unprocessed feelings can lead to a lot of things that you don't realize. You one day you look back at your life and you're like, "Whoa, my gosh! I realized that I'm still that 7 year old who got hurt, right? Who was her feelings were validated and got hurt, and that's how I am showing up in life without really understanding why." So it's of absolute importance to understand the consequences of not allowing those feelings to come through. It could lead to chronic disease, to chronic pain, to, just a lot of unhappiness unnecessarily.
Which is also a choice to not have. So when you feel like these things are going on in your body, you can make those choices, even if it's from a feeling that happened when you were young or many years ago, that you're still able to move through them. You're still able to unearth them and make the choice to deal with them, and to use that to your advantage, correct?
Absolutely. And it's not easy. It takes a lot of courage. So for those people who might be saying, well, we all think what we're going through, it's the worst, right?
It's
Nobody else has experienced
totally.
what we have. Yeah, don't start comparing. So even if you feel like that is your case, just knowing that there's always a possibility to allow for expansion of
Mm.
your awareness, in a very, very subtle way, without forcing anything, just through a deep breath, allowing yourself to center and ground and say, okay, does this feel the same or maybe a little better? And just slowly create the
Mm.
change, the shift. It's never, you're never deep enough that you can't do that.
And I imagine that knowing that that you can choose how you feel is a very powerful tool that you can use in your day and in your daily life, day in and out. Um,
Yeah.
so can you share maybe some tips or specific tips on how to embody that into your life daily so that you're making that choice to your benefit in the most, in the most productive way?
Yes, absolutely. So the first thing is, waking up and really acknowledging where am I right today? Like how did I wake up?
Mm.
Did I wake up, with the right foot, the left foot, really understanding and not trying to fool yourself, right? We can
Mhm.
fool everyone else, but I always say, let's not fool ourselves. So,
Right.
so being in that space of okay, this is my reality today, and then really having some self compassion around what that
Mm.
is, and as you move through your day, and there are many things that we have control of, many things that we don't, so understanding what we do have control
Mhm.
over, and when we understand that, we know that we are able to shift it, we're able to make slight changes. So the practice is, for me, first waking up and understanding, how am I feeling today? Is there pain in my body? Is there anxiety? Is there sadness? Is there what is my top feeling? And what can I do right now to
Mm.
make it better? It could be just, oh my God, enjoying my cup of coffee for an extra 5 minutes,
I love
right?
it. Yeah,
And that makes all the difference. So knowing that you have agency no matter what.
I love that.
And yeah.
I love it. It's simple. If
Mhm.
there's more, please share. But I just think that's so simple to be present, to be um, merciful to yourself, and to recognize it doesn't have to be a big grand gesture. It could just be, hey, I'm feeling like I need another couple minutes, so let me enjoy my coffee. I love that.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that's, once you've sort of um, allowed yourself to feel that, to have that agency, that opens up a lot of other doors,
Yeah.
but that to me is the first step.
Amazing. Maria, thank you so much for this. So eye-opening to me and so simple, which is what I love.
Mhm.
Simplicity, it makes it all doable. And that's what I want, is to share with people things they can do easily in their lives. Can you tell us, first of all, if somebody wants to find out more about your coaching or ask you questions about this one thing you know for sure, where they can find you?
Yes, of course. So my website is theawakenedchoice.com. And I am in Instagram at theawakenedchoice. So you can find me that way.
Do you
Yeah.
have anything coming up that you want to share?
Yeah, actually, I do. I have a wonderful virtual retreat coming up on May 3rd and 4th. It's called The 5 Keys to Living and Loving Your Divine Life. We're very excited. I'm co-hosting it with a wonderful coach friend of mine, and it's going to be our first of hopefully many. But the idea is to be able to give people a place of respite, of acknowledgement in these difficult times, to really know that there's a possibility to feel in a different way, in alignment with your divine life, your divine self, and within your humanity. So it's I'm very excited about that. So that will be May 3rd and 4th.
Great. And we'll put all the details in the links. I want to thank you, Maria, for being here today. It was very, very insightful. Also, I want to thank all of you for being here today. And if you would like to find out more about Pathfinder and the coaching that we do, which is very aligned with what Maria does, as a first internal, then external approach to overcoming all of our issues that we face, please take a look at www.pathfinder1to1.com. Also, you can find us on all of our social media platforms, including YouTube, at Pathfinder1to1. And please like, share, comment. We'd love your feedback. We'd love to know if you incorporate this into your world in the comments below. And we look forward again to seeing you on the next episode of The One Thing I Know for Sure.
Thank you, Wendy.